pretty cool. So I figured I'll do the same with you as a coach. I have more and more guys wanting to play. We just need money, coach. That's the problem. When will they increase the amount of scholarship for guys, man? Why is it only 4.5? Can you explain that to whole Poland?
I think you know the answer, right? Like Title IX, I think is the reason.
So the equal amount of guys getting scholarship as girls,
right? So,
but look, NGIT doesn't have, for example, football, right? And but still, right? You have a baseball and you don't have a softball team. So is that why?
Well, think about it this way. Let's talk about Penn State, right?
Yeah.
Penn State has a football team, right? Like a men's football team. So
yeah.
I'm just guessing. I don't know how many scholarships football gets. I think maybe like 60 to 80. Some like 60 to 80 full scholarships.
Yeah.
So there's no women's football, right?
Right.
So that means it's not going to you can't cancel out like the men's scholarships for football with women's scholarships for football because there's no women's football. So what happens is women's volleyball, I'm not sure about the other. Women's volleyball gets 12 scholarships as opposed to men's volleyball just getting 4.5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But let's say only Penn State has a football team. So if Penn State is in your conference, they affect the entire conference. It has to be on the same rules, on the same.
Yeah.
You know what?
Unfortunately, because
Vic Hack from Israel. Who is that? Avido Grai.
Who's that?
Avido. Miss you, miss you, bro.
We played a season together.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey.
So did you win the championship there?
Championships. 2 championships, 2 cups.
Bro, I announced you. I shot you out. I was like, this is a Israeli champion and the current men's volleyball coach. So, man,
Thanks, Kai.
That's why. For sure, bro.
Guy's still talking.
Hey.
Together. What's up, Guy?
Hey, Mike.
Who's Mike?
So there's a question. I have questions for you, but we can throw in some questions from people.
Yeah.
Mike is asking what type of scholarship he can get as a guy playing volleyball in the U.S.
All right, Mike. I mean, sorry. I think if you're talented enough, then any scholarship is possible. Full scholarship, half scholarship, whatever. But of course, it depends on how talented you are and what position you play. I think as a middle, your chances of getting a full scholarship are not very high, no matter how talented you are. But as a setter, right side, outside, I think you have if you're very talented and the coach sees you have a place in the program, timing also works right as well, and you can get a good chunk of money for sure.
Oren, would you award your player a full scholarship in your team? Would you do it, or you wouldn't do it?
I think that's more of a question for the head coach, to be honest with you.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure. But
like in my
let's say you're a head coach.
Would I give somebody a full scholarship on my team right now?
If let's say there's a guy emailing you, reaching out to you from Poland, he's amazing, but he's great. He could be All-American. Would you sacrifice that full ride for him, or you would be like, hey, I'd rather get 2 average guys for him than giving it to one guy?
I think a full scholarship is pushing it a little bit, to be honest. My opinion. I would give. Now, this is just my opinion. I mean, everyone's different, But I would give
Right.
most likely a 75, 80% scholarship as a maximum. And if you have good grades and you have an opportunity to get a full scholarship, but through academic means, you know what I mean?
Right. For sure. But I don't think international kids, I mean, I'm not sure if, obviously you get some part of for academics as well. Is that correct? It's not just athletic scholarship for a kid from, say, Germany coming to your team.
So there are some kids who get like, I won't give any names, but there is a player in my team who gets a decent amount of scholarship, and then athletic scholarship, that is, and then the rest is filled out academically. You know what I mean?
And it's an international kid?
And it's an international kid, yeah.
Okay. That's nice.
So it's possible, man. If you have good grades, then it's really possible. But it depends on school. Like our school, so if anyone doesn't know this, Kai and I were teammates at NCAA. We played together in college.
Yes.
Yeah, so at our school, it's hard to get an academic scholarship. You got to have pretty high SAT scores and stuff. But at a different school, then maybe the criteria is lower, and it's possible to get an academic scholarship.
Yeah. I'm working with the guy now that obviously the biggest part is athletic, but they still getting money from academics and making it a good package. So, yeah. And I think there's also scholarships you can apply. If you, at least after first semester, if you have good grades, you can apply for, there's a whole bunch of different scholarships from like outside sources, right? I'm not sure if you've done it as a college student athlete or your players, but are you aware of that?
It's definitely possible. I mean, I personally, when I went to college, I did get a scholarship, not necessarily from the college. You know what I mean? But there are like a lot of foundations that give money to students if you apply for them and you qualify for them, for sure. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
Yes. Okay, question for you, Oren. I'm gonna start my list because we having the right vibe to start my question.
Sounds good, man.
They're pretty clear. You ready?
Yeah.
So what do you expect from international player versus American guy bringing on a team? Is it do you guys have different expectations or the same expectations?
The same expectations for everyone, man. We expect you guys to do well in school, and we expect you to be great volleyball players. You know what I mean? And of course,
yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. And of course, if you're on scholarship, we expect you to be one of the guys contributing, starting, and we want you playing well. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. It comes down to winning, and winning is not everything, but also it's important for sure. You know what I mean? But we definitely have high standards. We want you to succeed academically. We want you to succeed as an athlete as well.
Because you know how it is. You're bringing a guy from a different country. You're like, you better perform because you're getting the money. Maybe it's not necessarily the case. Maybe international guys are not getting the most money, but that's majority of the cases. Let's be honest, they are getting the most money. So I was just curious. You know, it's like I played in France and you bring in a guy, they would always be like, hey, and you're from Poland, you got to play better than those domestic guys. You know, like we bring you all the way from Poland, you better perform. So that's why I was asking you.
Yeah, I think it's different in the sense that it's different than being a professional athlete. We're not going to sit down just because you're a foreigner. We're not going to treat you differently than an American. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether you're an American or you're a foreigner, if you're a starter, you know, we want you playing well, obviously. You know what I mean?
Question. Can you, let's say someone looks great on the video, the recruiter tells you the guy is amazing, national team, the guy comes in and he he doesn't really play that well. He's you know, he's just not looking as he was looking in the video. Can you tell the guy, hey, sorry, Jason, you gotta go back to Germany. We have someone better.
Well, it's a tough question, man.
That's why I invited you. You're the guy. You're the guy that can answer those type of questions. You know.
Yeah. Let's say this.
Hey, bro.
I don't want to make that mistake. You know what I mean? I'm gonna look at all the footage you send me. I think we're gonna make a pretty good estimate on how well a particular player can contribute. You know what I mean? We don't take chances. Like let's say you send a highlight video, and you look like a stud.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just say, "Oh, that's it. We want him." I'm gonna ask for match footage. I'm gonna ask for, you know, a few matches, and try to make a good estimate from there. And I think usually we do a pretty good job with that. But let's just talk about our own experience, Kai, with when we were in college, right? I think there were some cases where the coach has reduced scholarship to some players. I don't know if you're aware of it, but I do know of some players that did get their scholarship reduced.
No, I am aware of that guy and his name and where he lives.
I don't know if we're the same guy, but
I think we're thinking about the same guy. But
I think there was a few, man.
But majority from at least from what I know, coaches won't take your scholarship away if you get injured or if you not perform.
Get injured? Absolutely not. We will not. We will in no way take your scholarship away. Absolutely not.
So is it like a rule? Is it like a rule NCAA, right? That you.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is a rule. You can't take scholarship if somebody gets injured. And in our program, at least, it's pretty uncommon for people to get their scholarships reduced. You know what could reduce your scholarship, though? Academically, becoming ineligible. That will reduce your scholarship, because if you're ineligible, then we can't use you, and essentially that money is going, right?
Right, but the requirement, the GPA is very low, right? It's 2.0 to play. So is that?
I think it's a 2.0, right? I think it's a 2.0.
Yeah, so it's like really low requirement. You really have to try hard to not to be below 2.0. But yeah, it's definitely a reason to decrease your scholarship 100%. Okay, next question. What qualities you look for when you're looking at the recruit? Like what qualities in an athlete? What do you pay attention to?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kai. I realized somebody said hi, Stas. What's up, Stas? Hope everything's
Ohad Magro. Your elders?
What do you say?
Ohad Magro. Do you know Ohad Magro?
Yeah, what's up, Ohad?
Do you know him?
Yeah. Everything's fine.
He wants the start.
Micha,
He wants
some other time, not today.
Ohad, how old are you? I'll help you out.
You're 27?
Bro. Is he a good volleyball player?
He's too old. He doesn't qualify. Sorry.
So what qualities you look at when you look in the, in the recruit? Wrong way.
How do I switch that back?
Yeah, man.
Oh, there we go. What qualities I look at? The number one, of course, is what's your physical ability, right? That's of course. Let's just be honest. That's of course the most important. and make sure you send a good highlight video. If you don't send a clear highlight video, it makes our job not easy, because I need to see your ability. I need to see clearly what you're capable of doing.
Right.
Number one is marketing yourself correctly, showcasing your skills, sending a clear highlight video or match film to the coaches. And of course, the other qualities that are important are your character as a person. I want to get to know who you are, what your goals are. See if you're a serious guy, whether being a Division I athlete is really for you. All those things are important. So if I get an idea of a player who's not very serious and they just, they're not very motivated and they don't want to be a volleyball player, then I won't be very interested in that particular person.
So do you call the guy? Do you video call the guy? Do you meet in person? What do you do?
Yeah, so if we're interested in somebody, we usually would set up an official visit or an unofficial visit, and then we'd meet that person live.
Right.
So, and then just get an idea about who they are and see if they fit in with the team and if they'd be a good fit.
But international kids, obviously, you talk on the phone, right?
So I never personally. This is my first year as a coach, so I never national. Last year, obviously, we have recruited internationals, a kid from Germany, a kid from Spain, and I think the coaches in the past have generally just had a Skype call and just get an idea of who they are. They usually don't go on international, right?
Say that again?
Yeah, like in your case, like you didn't visit.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's why it's sometimes risky for some coaches because, I mean, like you said, you make sure you triple check multiple games, and so I guess you call it risky. That's good. So obviously, it's not just physicality; you also look at character and personality. It's important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
How early do you guys recruit? For example, right now, what year? What classes are you guys looking at right now?
We're pretty much done with 2020, but if something comes up and somebody special, then we definitely would be interested in looking into that. But essentially, we're trying to recruit big 2021. We're looking
2021.
21, yeah. We're looking to get some real good, talented players in that class because we have some very important people graduating that year. So.
Mm-hmm. So you're looking maximum like a year ahead, or sometimes more?
I will look at 2022s. I will talk with 2022s, but my priority is definitely 21s. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Right.
Special, then I definitely keep that in mind. No question.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mike asked another question.
Yeah.
Mike seems like a guy who wants to play because he asked pretty serious question.
All right, Mike.
He said, "What to do to get?" He said, "What should I do to get admitted in the university?" To get admitted, and what's the most important to make it happen?
Oh, thank you, Ahad. I appreciate the compliment.
Ahad, you're a nice guy.
So the question is, what's the most important thing that dictates whether you get into a university or not? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So every university is different, man. For our school, you generally need a 3.2 GPA along with a 1170 SAT score.
1170.
Yeah, so that would be
pretty high. Is it the same for international kids?
Same for international. But of course, it depends what school you apply to. So if you apply to the business school, then your criteria is going to be here as compared to if you apply to the engineering school.
Right.
So it depends what you're applying to. It really all depends. And every school is different. There's some schools easier than others. Ours is not so easy to get into.
Yeah. So, but they still looking at the GPA combined with the SAT score. Is that correct? Let's say your SAT is 1,000. It's not 1,070. It's 1,000, but your GPA is high. Does it, complement?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. And also, you can take the ACT as well.
Right. What you think is easier?
And the ACT is easier, and you don't get as high scores as compared to the SAT. So.
Did you personally take SAT?
I took the SAT, yeah.
What do you think about the exam?
I think the SATs are really, well, for me, it was very difficult.
Imagine kids like us, myself, and people watching that barely speak English have to take that exam. An American guy right here is saying it's a very difficult exam.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not easy. It's not easy.
How long were you preparing for SAT?
I probably studied for a year. But hey, you do what you can, right, Kai? I mean, you figured it out, right? I mean, you do what you could, and you got into school, and
yes, but that's exactly. I had to figure it out. I would never get into NJIT my freshman year. I did the same as you said. The guy from Penn State. I went to NAIA school, which had lower requirements to get in, and then once you come to US, my description or my thing is, if you're a good student in Poland, you're going to be a very good student in America, and that's for the most part with international kids. That's how it works. It's just a matter of getting in. So sometimes you have to take a different path, not go straight to the school you want or you dream about. You got to go somewhere else. And then, like, for example, myself, I transferred. The kid from Penn State, you said, is a great player. He also transferred, plays for one of the best teams. So, yeah, there's different ways to do it.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. 100%. There's it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next question is, what about with those athletes, your seniors? Will they get another season of eligibility?
Man, it's another good question. I think they will, but I'm not 100% sure.
Did you have any seniors?
Yeah, we have 3 seniors. And from what I know, 2 are expressing interest
in playing.
Yeah, in returning to play another year. One of them is very, maybe he's here right now, I don't know, but he's very wants to come back. He's a very good player for Brazil.
So just a question. So what happens to your, let's say, your 2020 class that you already recruited? How does it work now?
Nothing changes, man.
I'm asking tough questions. Am I asking tough questions?
Nothing changes, man. We just continue going. I don't know if the rule only applies to seniors. So I don't know if everybody gets another year of eligibility. I don't know if the 2021 class gets another year. I'm not sure of the details yet.
My brother is here. You remember Bartosz?
Did we?
Bartosz BB?
I don't think I ever met your brother.
You haven't? He came for a graduation, so
oh yeah,
possibly. Because it was a huge crowd, so you probably didn't see him. So yeah, sorry, man. Sorry for asking tough questions, uncomfortable questions, but someone has to ask those questions. What's your role on the team for being an assistant coach?
Yeah, for sure. I usually go through most of the recruiting. Of course, I mean, I'm not the only one who does this, but I usually plan the main idea of what we want to work on in practice. I do talk with the head coach and discuss what things he wants to work on, and But yeah, pretty much planning practice and recruiting are my two biggest things. And of course, practice, man. That's what I love. That's why I love being a coach. I just love the office work is fine, whatever, but I love being in the gym with the players, getting extra reps, working on things. You know what I mean?
Do you remember he used to stay after practice and destroy his shoulder? Do you remember that, or you forgot?
No, man. I don't forget.
You don't forget those things. That's good.
Yeah.
So is that your teammate Ohad Magro?
No, we weren't teammates. Oh,
Right.
so Kai, I think he asked a question before. Kai and I were teammates in college back in the day.
Back in 2012, from 2012 to 2015.
Yeah.
Next question. Where do you want to be as a coach? What's your goal? Or maybe you don't know yet. Or maybe you just take it day by day. What's yourself?
Day by day, man. Day by day.
I got you. Mike, again. Mike said, I don't understand everything in English.
You can translate for him if you want, Kai.
Yeah, I'm not laughing, obviously, because I wouldn't understand either. I may put some subtitles on it, but we'll see. We'll see. Obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious. Jestem ciekaw, czy rozumiecie, jak mówi Oren. But yeah, they'll have to understand if they want to go to States, right? Try at least to understand.
It's an amazing experience, guys. If you could study in America, play volleyball, experience the country, it is just such a cool experience. I recommend it 100%. I'm sure Kai is with me totally when I say this, but it's an experience of a lifetime. It really is.
100%. That's why I started this agency, to basically make more people aware that this is like their lifetime chance and opportunity and great experience for college or professional, even playing wise. If you want to play, you can still go to US. They'll definitely prepare you to play professional, and just for a job and meeting new cultures, you're not going to find that many cultures anywhere else in the world. So 100%. So I have a question. How would you compare, when you went to play in Israel, you played in the top division there. How was that comparing to NCAA Division I volleyball that you played here in the US?
I think, how do I word this? But it's different when you play pro, man. I think you could agree with me. Everyone pretty much has their own lives when you're a professional, right? Some people have families. Some people live close to the club you're playing for. And when you're in college, it's different. Like, everybody's a student. You're seeing each other every day in the cafeteria. It's just, I guess, more of a community feeling when you're when you're playing for a university, because you're doing everything. You live together, you eat together, you do everything, man. You work out together. But it also depends the club, because the second club I played for in Israel was much more of a community feel, because everybody lived in the same place, everybody ate together, trained together.